Welcome to WRL Broadcast. I am Hate Mail, and with me today we have frequent guest, mostly Costly,
Hello.
and then we also have first-time guest, been an owl for quite a while, No,
Spicere.
Spicere.
All right.
As everybody knows, I'm a professional at pronouncing things.
Oh,
So.
it's. I can imagine it's something that a lot of people see as just a word or name. So, uh,
So I invited both of you on because you both have Cassandra Cain geared. Intro, you have her RB1 already?
yeah. Thought I might as well give it a shot. I have a few Rebirth crystals to spare, so I thought might as well try it out.
She does seem pretty cool. Full disclosure, I do not have her geared yet because I forgot to farm rings. I usually always have plenty, but was gearing Hawk Girl's rings when I first got home today. And I was gonna run a couple matches and then completely forgot that I didn't have that many. So I actually decided to wait until her gear day to save myself another gear. So I haven't got to use her yet, but both of you guys have. So we'll let you kind of talk through her, and I'll just ask you some questions. But I watched a bunch of your videos, and she does look pretty good. Like I'm pretty
She's a lot of
impressed.
fun. She's definitely fun. I've been using her a lot because I've had her L1 since like day 3 of the month. So um, I used her all throughout the siege. She's RB1 for me now, but I do have enough to right now I can go all the way up to RB4. But I don't have the crystals, so
Wow.
it's gonna be like 2 months before I can even get to my goal's RB5 by the time everything's done.
Wow.
But I won't have enough crystals until like 2 months from now because the crystals are so hard to come by, and I've been upgrading other characters and stuff. So, but she's super fun. She enables a lot of bleed comps, and surprisingly, paired with Vixen, she actually enables stun comps.
Nice.
Because there's a team I really love running, which is Vixen, Cassandra. Currently today, Vixen, Cassandra, Hawk Girl, and Killer Frost. I've been running Killer Frost, and Kaga had been the one I was running in place of Hawk Girl there. But this has been pretty fun, and with Vixen, with her leadership, if anybody goes, she speeds up everybody, and it's real nice when it goes to Cassandra. And then so Cassandra just throws user 3. She throws bleeds onto everybody. And then Vixen just starts using Rhino, and then Hawk Girl and Killer Flash go crazy. Or Killer Flash? That's not a character. Killer Frost.
He sounds scary.
Yeah. But they go crazy. And I mean, like, Cassandra just enables that team doing that because of her, like, ability to apply bleeds really quickly in the
That sounds
match.
like a really fun team, like right up my alley too.
And I believe even I know her basic and her 2. I don't know about her 3. Will apply on miss. Her basic will apply on a miss. She will still purge and apply the healing immunity. I'm pretty sure on a miss on her 2. I'd have to double check some of my videos.
Yeah, I have to check again. I know she applied the healing immunity on a miss, but I don't remember the purge actually. So I'm not sure about that.
And before we get too deep into her, let's do the quick intro to Spicere Spice.
Oh yeah, before we get too far, I just started going.
You just started going, it's okay. But we haven't had you on yet, so just give us a quick how long you've been playing DC Legends and what got you into the game, and then maybe it's your favorite character grouping. I know we have Lantern fans. Obviously, we have a Cassandra Cain fan here, so.
Yeah. All right. So I've been playing for a long time. So I know the first week when it came out, I heard about the beta way back when, about like, what was it, 3-4 years now? I forget how long it's been. But I didn't get a chance to test it, but I thought, hey, I don't really play a whole lot of mobile games. However, since this is coming out, if this is something I do want to play, because the issue with most mobile games is you kind of play catch-up if you come on a little bit late and start enjoying the game, and you have to start paying a lot of money to actually do that. So I thought, hey, I like DC. I've always been a fan of it since I was a kid. I would just watch stuff with my dad. So I thought, might as well get on this while it's early, and it's been useful. So I've been playing since a week after the game came out to everyone, and just been playing ever since, so I don't have to do much work to keep my roster up to date, or I have tons of shards without really spending a whole lot of money. So, yeah, just been on for a while. As far as my favorite type of DC landscape, it has to be a tie between Batman and the Flash for me. I'm not sure why I've always just been fascinated with the two different... They seem very different, but I've always just kind of been interested in both the Bat family and just the Flash mythos in general. So it's pretty good.
Well, great. Well, we appreciate having you on. And getting back to Cassandra Cain, so you mentioned bleed comps, obviously. She seems like she'd work in evasion comps as well. She'd work surprisingly, I guess, with Vixen on stun comp. So, any other teams you all tested that you find that particularly effective with her?
Do you have
You-
any on top of your head, or?
Actually, the most recent one I was running that was pretty fun was... It's pretty fun, but it's super niche, was Batgirl, Cassandra Cain, and then it was Silver Banshee and Iron Flash. That one was pretty fun just because she could enable Silver Banshee very early.
I didn't even think about that. I bet Red Hood,
Yeah.
the Silver Banshee
Yeah.
and her would be fun.
Yeah, that's another one.
Oh,
I
it
did,
is.
right?
It is. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Honestly, just her with Red Hood just seems like a really, really good pairing. In general, the most recent one I was trying, because I'm trying to compensate for one of her weaknesses, which is just the invisibility just not being up that often, is just Nightwing, Clayface, Swamp Thing, and Cassandra Cain. That one, it's a pretty weird one. But it's kind of a mixture of survivability while one person also gets a lot of bleeds put on them, as well as just constantly keeping Cassandra invisible so she can, once she casts her 3 again, all the bleeds are back up, no problem. You don't have to spend as long to get it going. So it's another one.
I've been running a lot of Nightwing lead with her. It is extremely fun. One of the ones I've been running a lot is Nightwing, Cassandra, and then Taunter, so whoever you want, like Donna Troy is good in some of them. Donna Troy's been really fun actually with it, and
Yeah.
Batman Beyond. So Batman Beyond, he needs invisibility to get working. Cassandra needs invisibility to get working, and Nightwing just throws it out to everybody all the time. And then because all these characters are going that are invisible, Nightwing is gaining so many buffs that they're constantly be turning to awareness underneath Donna Troy. And then Cassandra's constantly gaining evasions and turning them into awareness under Donna Troy. Batman Beyond is constantly getting evasions and invisibility and turning them into awareness under Donna Troy. And then Batman Beyond is making it to where they miss like crazy on Cassandra, and so she's just throwing out, buff immunities all over the enemy team. And then she just keeps getting her 3 back, and she's invisible because of Nightwing. So she just keeps applying bleeds and bleeds and bleeds, and just the team's dead before anything happens.
That sounds like
Like-
actually a really fun. I'm excited to hear that you can make Nightwing work.
Oh, Cassandra makes so many characters work. It's insane. It's
With I kind of want to jump back to Donna Troy with Cassandra. I mean, Kage actually pointed it out in the chat earlier, and I agree. If you really want to get the most out of her, Donna Troy is probably her best pairing, just because she's always using her 3 and her 2, and those are the only moves she'll ever use. So it's just one turn of bleed. The next turn is always her 2, just to go invisible again, and then the turn after that is just her 3, and it's that back and forth, back and forth. I've gotten up to, I think I got 20 bleeds one time on just a Hal Jordan that was just left standing. It was just Donna Troy and Cassandra Cain. It was pretty fun because just seeing his health melt away that much. So
Wow.
yeah, if you really get the most out of
I
her,
wonder if you could make Mirror Master
Donna-
work with that Nightwing-led team.
I've been wanting to throw him in there. I just haven't.
I have tried. I mean, it works kind of well, but it just takes a while till that happens. Because the thing is, if you don't have Donna Troy and you just have Mirror Master, what happens is you're good for 2 turns, but after that, then you can kind of apply. You can apply the invisibility from Mirror Master, but then you're vulnerable for a while, and that's if nothing has gone wrong and Mirror Master is still standing. So I mean, I'll have to give that one a shot again, just to kind of see how well that can actually work.
I always want to try to make them work in it, except that during that rare period during the Clayface meta, it just never really seemed to materialize for him. He desperately
I
needs
love
to rework.
Clayface.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, she's been extremely fun to play with. It was one of those ones where it's like, okay, so even if she was horrible, I probably still would have bought RB5. So just to explain that real quick, my top 3 characters in all of DC are Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and then Cassandra Cain. Dick Grayson, I was not playing when Nightwing came out. I had taken a break from the game because back in the day, the Captain Cold event just pissed me off, and I quit. And so if anybody remembers from back in the day, like that event was hard. It was really hard. So I had quit during that event, and then I came back, and I happen to not be in such a financial area as I am today, or financially stable area, when Jason came out. And so seeing what Du Bois did last month with Walker, I was like, I want to do that with one of my favorite characters. And I remember when he said he was going to do it, I actually messaged him. I was like, if we ever get Stephanie Brown or Cassandra Cain, I'm doing it. And he's like, okay. And he's like, I'm holding you to it on those characters. And I was like, all right. And then so Cassandra Cain got announced the very next month. and so I was like, all right, well, I got to do it. And so, and I remember a couple of guys in the L chat were like, are you still going to do it even if she's crap? And I'm like, yeah, because I said I would do it. So for a little bit, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go RB3. And then I just decided to pull the trigger and do it. But I'm so glad she's good because she's so much fun to use. She enables characters that, like, I've always wanted to use Nightwing, and I only brought him up to Gear 11, like, this last raid. I brought him up probably the month before, but I ringed him for this last raid because he was a bonus character.
She has a lot in her kit. I mean, when you look at just her abilities, she buff immunity, purging, bleed, turn meter down. I mean, she's got almost everything you could want in a character, and she doesn't do. I mean, she does pretty strong damage.
Yeah,
especially if it crits, which happens almost 50% of the time. Her basic, I think one time Etrigan was overhealed, just halfway, or the purple bar was halfway filled up, and she just hit him for a crit with the basic, and while she was invisible, just because he did his AoE, and it nearly killed him. Like, it brought him all the way down to red. So she really can hurt people a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she enables a lot of stuff, which is fun. It's characters that make other teams work are always the most interesting to me. What a team I've been trying out was so Sexy Lexi, which everybody loves to run, is their leader right now, right? Cassandra, Constantine, and then who was I running? Oh man, I forgot the fourth member. It was somebody else with that could apply buff immunity. And basically, I ran it against a Lex team, and it was so fun to watch a Lex team buff and get nothing because all of them had buff immunity.
Yeah, see, I think that's going to be the only way to really, if you're not going to be faster than the Lex team, you need to have ways to shut down the overheals and the buffs. So I think that's going to be the counter in the end. So what are you guys thinking for Legendary Order? Costly, start with you. What is your preferred order right now if you were to...
So I took her, I can't remember what number it is. It's the one that gives her invisibility at the beginning of the match. I took that
her 5,
first. Yeah, so I took her 5 first, just because that enabled her entire kit.
Yeah,
her entire kit revolves around her being invisible.
Yeah.
Intro, do you agree with that?
I strongly agree with that. I took that first as well, and I can't really make that well of an argument for taking any of the other ones over a 5. Especially just to start with that AoE, it's extremely good just for the bleeds.
From that point on, I mean, it's really subjective, but I'm going to say 5. I'm looking at it right now, and then, like, I'm getting the loading screen because it's reset.
Yeah.
Check that right now.
Yeah, so I'd say 5, probably 1. I like 1 a lot.
Well, you say you don't use her one a lot in some battles, depending if you don't need it. So
Oh,
my question
she
would be,
uses her one a lot. You don't use it a lot. You
right?
don't actually actively use her one.
Oh, that's right.
She
I forgot.
uses her one a lot because she uses it on a
Yeah.
retaliation.
That's right. I forgot about that. So yeah, you probably do want her one next because that buff immunity is extremely potent.
Hmm.
Blackout, Etrigan, so there's a lot of reasons. Cast well, not really on Castaway unless
I can tell you this much. I would take 4 last.
Yeah, you're coming in a little garbled intro.
Yeah, your mic's cutting out pretty
Alright,
bad.
hold on a sec.
The
Alright. Is that better?
little bit,
Yeah,
yeah.
I forgot to get a legendary order prepared, but I would say like 5's definitely her first one I would take, and 4 is the last one I would take.
Yeah, I
So
definitely agree
fill
with that.
everything in between there. You know.
I think
I
the purging
kinda
buffs
want-
on the targets probably outweighs the turn meter down, but because the turn meter down's random, but that's still pretty good.
Yeah, it there's times where it'll hit exactly the characters you want it to hit, and then there's other times where it'll hit like the turn meter down will hit like Power Girl and Booster Gold, so you don't even see it happen because then they just get turn meter up for being hit. So
That's what I prefer the purge over the turn meter. So I went 5, 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's exactly what I typed just now, thinking that's what I was thinking probably.
yeah, I agree with that too.
An intro, would you say that L3 would be her kind of sweet spot?
Yeah, just because the turn meter is pretty RNG dependent, and a lot of the stronger meta characters already kind of outspeed her by the time she takes her turn. So I think I think the 3 and the 4 especially doesn't really. By the way, is that bugged? By the way, because it says every turn she gains the invasion
It's
up and the
poorly
heal.
worded from the way I understand it. It's just poorly worded.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Because I remember just seeing that, thinking, hey, I thought I should have a giant stack of evasion right now. But yeah, that makes sense that they wouldn't do that. Yeah, so I would definitely take the 4. The only time I ever see the 4 being useful is if there's a Superboy and he uses his 3 while you're invisible and stuns you, and that's the only time it's ever been useful for me.
Well,
so.
and if Hawk Girl becomes more prevalent now, she
will.
Good point. Just pretty good rework. I think.
which I haven't even got to use her yet. I geared her and then I ran out of time. So tonight after I finish all my editing on my 37 podcasts I got to edit. I'm gonna give her a spin because I think she's my next Rebirth character. So.
Yeah, and she actually on that Vixen team that I was talking about, she works really well with Cassandra. Because I know you're probably looking to play around with Cassandra. So
my 9th energy character to gear or Rebirth. Every character I want to Rebirth always ends up being energy. I was really hoping Hawkman
mine's
would be physical.
If you look at it, look at my roster, I have like Red Hood, Cassandra, Huntress, Man Bat. Like,
who's your Rebirth intro?
I have quite a few. So I know a lot of them are L2. So I know Hal Jordan, Swamp Thing. I think with a fun thing that I had on defense that gave me a lot of wins was when St. Walker came out. So I would have St. Walker, Batwoman, Clayface, and Swamp Thing. And no one ever expected Swamp Thing. So the thing is, the Lex team would just buff up. And at Rebirth 2 with that St. Walker boost, even if the Lex was fully healed up, if he was not Rebirth 2 or higher, he would just be gone. Like Swamp Thing.
I think I faced your stupid Swamp Thing a few times. It nuked my RB3 Killer Frost a couple times.
Yeah, no one ever expects a Swamp Thing. They just see Batwoman and State Walker. They're like, oh man, I got to get rid of them. But then just Swamp Thing with the basics, just getting rid of all the debuffs. So, the whole point of Swamp Thing is he's the real threat, but they're too busy assessing others that Swamp Thing will just get going or kill someone.
I don't underestimate him that much anymore.
Yeah.
Thanks to you, actually, I think. So.
Yeah, I plan on taking him to RB5 at some point. So Flash is another one. Batwoman. I really need to rebirth Donna Troy. And then what's the other one? There's another one I have. I think it was Dr. Fate. I wanted to try something with him, and I just thought he's just so niche that I just thought, I probably shouldn't rebirth him further, despite the shards in me.
I've used Dr. Fate once, and I was like, it was like a really like, I was like, oh man, this is an amazing counter, and I think I put a video in the owl chat. Like everybody's like, oh, I never would have. I think even Hate at one point was like, I never would have thought about using that character to counter that team. And I was like, yeah, it was great. And then I've never used him since.
Oh, I think it was a Lex, actually early Lex.
Yeah. But then I never used him again after that.
Yeah, he's just so squishy.
Uh,
Dive to anything.
Yeah.
On the back to the topic of Cassandra, there's a few things I do want to talk about in her weaknesses. I love her, but I feel Hal Jordan just shuts her down completely. I know it's just going to make Kage hate Hal Jordan more, but the thing is, there's unlike
I love that
Red-
he hates him though, because he's
Yeah,
such a little Wonder Girl defender these days, because he's on the contrarian kick. So
yeah,
his new nickname's Contrarian Kage.
it's a pretty good one. But
Man. Yeah.
Costly, have you found any successful teams to bring against Hal Jordan bringing Cassandra Cain? Because I have yet to. think
Yeah,
of
actually,
any.
I have, but Kage is going to say that this isn't a valid team because it has Wonder Girl on it, who's an S tier.
Well, but he
So,
defends her that she's not that bad, so I don't know why.
So I sent a couple of them to Hate. The team is let's see, it's Nightwing, Cassandra, DT, and Wonder Girl. So DT's going to take any hits right off the bat. She's just going to be DT, and then
That's
just
Donna Troy,
strip.
for those of you that are
Yeah.
irritating.
And then strip all the immunities off with Wonder Girl, and then have your Nightwing Cassandra combo just go nuts. So that's the team I've been using against Hal teams.
You know who she's going to be really good with is Aqualad when he comes
Yeah.
out.
I
They're-
still
they're going
waiting
to fit so well.
get it to come out, the legendaries at least.
Yeah,
Wow.
I seen somebody earlier today in chat was like, "Oh, Aqualad doesn't look that good." I think it was Chittytron. He was like, "Yeah, Aqualad doesn't look that great." And I went and looked at like his abilities, and I was like, "This is insane. This is gonna work so good with with Stargirl. Like, I don't see how it's
wait
bad."
till the passive and the legendaries come out. He's
I've
going
been
to be so
thinking
good.
of looking at Aqualad early on. I was just thinking like, you know, as Legendaries come out, maybe I might have a Swamp Thing replacement. Not really sure yet.
Yeah.
Still looking at it. No, but I'm still thinking of Cassandra. Okay, so my biggest issue with Cassandra, and I've said it before, and it still seems like the case. It's one of the reasons why I don't like. She's not. I mean, I don't think she's everyone. I think everyone just doesn't think she's an S. I don't know if I would even put her at an A. I think she's a really strong B, high B. But the thing is, like, just there aren't a whole lot of characters that give invisibility, and if you don't run her with a character that doesn't give her invisibility, she is just kind of a sitting duck because her cooldowns take a little bit too long to come out. So the thing is, even if you use her 3 and then use her 2, you're just stuck to using the basic twice, and on the third turn when you're using the basic, after that you don't have any evasions up or anything like that. So she kind of needs a little bit more teamwork to get going, but there's just not a whole lot of invisibility characters. Invisibility is kind of niche as is, at least
To
in
run
this
Robin
meta.
with her. Robin lead.
Yeah, that's the. I mean, that's you still have to get crit for that, don't you?
Yeah, you have to get credit for that. And
Yeah, which
if
is pretty fresh.
unless you're being crit by a Mystic or like a weaker physical, I don't. Yeah. No, her cooldowns are definitely her biggest weakness.
Yeah,
because
I think that what they should have done is it would have been nice. It would have been something similar to Batwoman, where they actually would have made it so her 2 was just a cooldown of 1. So she would use her 3, and then they would lower the cooldown on her 3 a little bit. So it would basically be her 3 or 2. Then she'd use her basic, and even though she wouldn't have invisibility, she would still have the 5 evasion up still. And then after that, then she could just cast her 2 again because it'll be back up, and then just go back invisible. So
yeah, and I don't see that. I don't see the problem with that being at a lower cooldown, actually, because I was thinking, like, well, what are the components of that ability? And it's like, okay, it purges buffs, and it has heal immunity. Okay, we have characters like Red Hood who just give out stacks of heal immunity, so that's
Right.
not, like, what they're afraid of there.
You-
And then, like,
I think
we have characters like Wonder Girl that just purge everything you ever get on you. So
Yeah.
I don't see why there would be a problem with that being on like a 1-turn cooldown. Not a 1-turn, but a 2-turn, so that you could get it going faster with other characters, you know?
Especially with how much her kit is just kind of revolves around invisibility. If you really want to maximize her potential, that's why she's kind of the best on Nightwing teams and Donna Troy teams, is because she's always invisible.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like if she's not invisible, she's very vulnerable, and you can get her quite easily. Especially with Lex and Hal around everywhere, she's not that hard to stop as soon as she's out of invisibility. So.
Oh, yeah. I've been hit by... because it's like, we always see all these videos. It's like, oh, these teams, they look amazing. Yeah, you should see the graveyard of videos in my delete pile, though. It's just like, it's me like trying to figure out teams for this character, right? And so it's like, I've been hit by Lex's, like, from the sky laser, and it kill Cassandra so many times. I've seen it kill Cassandra with like 15 evasion ups. I'm like, how did that hit? It's literally mathematically impossible almost. Like, what is... So...
I think the worst was when I was fighting a Lex team, and then he not only hits me with the 3, and I barely live on. No, that's not it. Okay, I was annoyed because he hit me with the 3 through the 5 invasion ups, and then all of a sudden my awareness was gone because I was running with Dun and Troy. So I thought, all right, fine, this is fine. And then after that, he calls an assist on Flash, who manages to land both of his double. He manages to hit me, crit me with one of his hits, and then just hits me with the other one through the 5 evasion ups. And I was just kind of thinking, all right, well,
That's why I don't like evasion
cool, I
characters.
guess.
They don't really evade.
Yeah. Especially if you run with Donna Troy, that might as well just be 4 evasion ups. And that's also the other problem with Donna Troy that I pointed out at one point in the chat, is there are times where she'll just purge the invisibility from Cassandra Cain, and then you just kind of, you're just there with 4 or 5 evasion ups, but then you can't go invisible again, and your 3 is pretty much useless.
Yeah.
So, again, there are a lot of problems I see with her. Not enough to make her see, because there are times she is fun using, and she has pretty good survivability for the most part, and she has a lot of utility regardless of all her weaknesses. But she does need quite a bit of help to get going. Not to get going. She needs quite a good
Just
amount of
staying
help to
along.
stay. Yeah. Which was my biggest issue. It's also why I'm not going to rebirth her further.
I bet she's
Just
great
like-
with Clayface. I mean,
Yeah,
fantastic
she is.
with Clayface.
You know who's great against Clayface?
Well, I think when Aqualad comes, you might be able to run.
Oh, man, a Cassandra...
I'm
like,
hoping-
Nightwing-led Cassandra, Aqualad, Clayface team, calling it right now.
I think that could
Would-
work. I mean, he's not going to shut down Wonder Girl, but he's going to make it so that she's a little less scary, I think. But I don't know. I don't know if it'd be enough with Clayface, but if you're not running any other greens, I think you could do it.
Yeah. Yeah, her cooldowns are her biggest problem, the invisibility thing. That's why it's like, for me, like, I mean, this isn't the tier list or anything, but for me, I agree, like, high B, I'd say maybe even low A. But if she has Nightwing as her leader with Adana Troy next to her, she's easily S tier when that's happening. She's throwing out bleeds everywhere. She's throwing debuff immunities. Buff immunities. It's insane when she gets going like that.
I'm going to test her with Siren now, too. Now that
Yeah,
Siren's
I
over.
tested a
mean,
little bit of Siren, but I've been working today too, so like I've been like trying to test the new reworks and like get RB1 Cassandra videos and stuff like that. But it's been pretty fun. I'm gonna RB5 her because she's one of my favorite like comic book characters. So
Yeah. I mean, you know what teams work for, and you seem to. I mean, you like Nightwing, which is good because it seems like you have him geared out, use him quite a bit. So
yeah,
it's the same thing with. I mean, that's the cool thing about it, and I don't know if I don't think I mentioned this before. The tier list is a really good rough endgame guideline, but at the same time, although most of the meta teams are strikers or just have really, really ridiculous survivability, you can make a lot of characters work, and Cassandra Cain is the way I kind of see the tier list in a lot of situations is which characters need the most help in order to actually work to kind of do what they
well, I mean,
need
that's
to
where
do.
it's designed, and also,
Right,
if
yeah.
you're
So
looking
it's
for
not-
easy mode characters, you know where to look.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. So Cassandra, she's good. She doesn't need a whole lot to get going. It's just that I think what she needs to get going, there's not a whole lot of, and the fact that she has to rely on other characters to do it as well. Let me phrase that. The fact that she needs a lot of characters or just a lot of help to do to maximize her potential consistently, because that's the issue. It's not enough consistency in my eyes. Kind of makes her like this niche character, but she's not bad by any means.
Yeah.
So,
And then, like I was mentioning earlier, like the Vixen team I was running around that enables like this like really good stun comp. It's like on that team, it's not like she's like plug and play where you can just like throw her everywhere. She is going to do something in every team that you put her in, I would say, but she's easily going to then fall into like she's going to fall by the wayside immediately.
right.
Because she's hard to get going, but she's like that character where it's like she pushes everybody out in front of her and is like, here's your boost, go. Like on whatever move you open with. And she's going to help out in that way. But then she's like if it was a race taking off, she's going to make everybody like get a speed boost off the front, but like it's going to cost her some, yardage. Like when she does it, because then she's just going to fall back.
Really strong for those first 2 turns, maybe 3
Yeah.
turns. If you're not running her with Donna Troy, that is. And again, that's also if Donna Troy doesn't purge her invisibility by accident. So this is kind of what we were talking about. There's like really some things holding her back, but she's extremely good if you can get that. Everything kind of goes right, which happens quite often, thankfully. So
That's good.
yeah.
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to start wrapping this up because I'm running out of time here. But we
Oh, yeah.
will. I appreciate you coming on, Introspicere.
Spicer. Yeah, like Latin. Yeah. So.
And Costly, which is a very mostly costly month with RB5
Yeah.
incoming, and you're gonna have to buy the all the
Yeah,
Rebirth token packs. They're gonna cost even more.
Yeah, on top of that, I bought a bunch of Huntress packs this month, and I farmed up Arcus to like RB3, but I don't have the crystals, so I'm waiting on like 100 crystals. WB,
I
to
think
hear
we all
this,
are.
just
That's the problem.
just put them in my mailbox. It'd be great. Thanks.
Got raids coming out. Yay.
Uh,
Hey, at least the Rebirth Cassandra will go to good use, I guess.
Exactly.
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, appreciate you coming on, and with that, we're signing off.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to this episode of WROL Broadcast. If you like the show, consider becoming a patron. Just go to patreon.com/WROL Broadcast. And also check out our store at teespring.com/stores/WROL Broadcast. Hey, Bizarro.
Goodbye.
Tell your mom to stop sharing the freaking raid boss.